All right, we are live. Is this your first interview as a professional at Baldwin Wallace?
I think so.
Well, I have no doubt you're going to kill it. We're excited to have you. This is Boston Mulinix, the soon to be. How long does it take to induct you into the West Branch Hall of Fame for high school sports? Is that putting
Uh,
the cart before the horse?
I have no idea, to be honest. I think somebody has to nominate you for at least how we do. I don't know if that's everywhere, but I mean, ultimately it's up to them.
Nah, I'm just messing with you. For us at the PGG, having you be the first scholarship winner, if we could have, picked or molded somebody from a community involvement to what you're doing in school, I mean, you are the ideal person that we wanted when we thought about unveiling the scholarship. So I'm pumped that you're willing to hop on here and talk a little bit about what your freshman year has been like, a little bit about the football team, give some advice out there for the kids. But first, tell us a little bit about how your first year is going at BW academically and athletically.
Thanks. I appreciate it and I appreciate you guys having me. But we finished the season at 8-2. We play in the Ohio Athletic Conference. We finished third in the conference at 8-2. I mean, obviously we were a little disappointed with that record, but 8-2 still pretty good. I got to play a little bit this year, like on the offensive side of the ball, and academically I had a pretty good first semester. I finished with a 4.0
Yeah,
in
pretty good.
business
Pretty good.
classes. Yeah.
That's funny. You said
So
so the part you mentioned to me that I think was really cool is you came in with like 23 hours or something.
yeah, 23 credits. So I was one credit shy of being a sophomore coming in, which was nice because I had to take a little bit of prerequisites my first semester, but a lot of those I'd already taken care of. So I could start classes like for my major kind of right away.
That's sweet. That's very cool. Do you know what you're gonna be doing when you're done with school? Are we at that point yet?
I'm not really sure yet. Right now, I'm a double major in business analytics. If I end up deciding not to go with that, but right now, that's what I'm sticking with.
You said double major. You cut out for a second there. You said double major in what business and what else?
Business analytics and finance.
Okay. I mean, good luck. That sounds kind of tough. Um,
Nice.
so you mentioned that you came in and you knew you had a chance to get some playing time, but weren't
Yeah.
really sure, how that was going to play out. Take me through a little bit about those first couple weeks. How did you end up becoming the number two? What kind of stuff did you need to do to get on the playing field?
So I was first of all, when I was being recruited here, the coaching staff were pretty, adamant about saying like, hey, you could potentially be our number two guy coming in this year. That's the role we see you at. But also they obviously said, we're not just gonna put you there right away. Like you got to work to earn that. So I think coming into the season, we had 16 running backs on our team, and I started out as the fifth guy. Um,
Did you say
Funny story, actually.
16?
Yeah, we had 16 on our roster.
Okay.
So this is a funny story, actually. It's the second day of practice of fall camp. It's our first day in pads, and the first handoff I get, I'm holding the ball like this, and one of our linebackers puts the crown of his helmet on my wrist. And it was pretty sore, but I wasn't like too concerned about it. I finished practice like that was kind of right at the beginning, and I put ice on after practice, and I was like, dang, this still hurts pretty bad. So I went to our athletic trainer, and I was like, hey, like my wrist is like kind of sore. It's getting pretty swollen. And she was like, oh my gosh, like that's definitely broken. Like we need to put you in a cast right now. And like I was kind of like freaking out. Like it just felt pretty sore. Like I didn't really
Yeah.
expect it to be like that. So I'm like, okay. So I'm starting to walk around the rest of the day, like going to meetings and stuff with this cast on. And like it's just like a piece of like like soft. It was then wrapped. Like it was pretty weird. But I took it off again because one of our other trainers wanted to look at it, and even he was like, "Yeah, that's definitely broken." So I was like, "Well, this kind of sucks." Like I'm
Yeah.
just starting out, and I'm like, "This is." I remember calling my dad. I'm like I don't know what's about. I don't know. This isn't going very well, and so I had to drive 45 minutes to a hospital that night to get X-rays. And I get there, and the nurse who's taking care of me, I take off my cast again. He's like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's not broken. So this whole time I've had three people tell me it was broken, and I'm kind of sitting there. I'm like this is awful. And I get the X-ray back, it's not broken. So
Unbelievable.
so they put me in like this little brace thing. I don't know. It was swelled up pretty bad. Um, I don't really know like what exactly it was. I think it was like a bad bone bruise, but they put me in this little like strap cast thing, and in a week it was fine. And then so it was just a little funny story. I was like thinking that my entire season, like my first year of
Yeah,
college football,
right.
was not
That's the
gonna
last
like
thing you want to see, that especially day one.
yeah. It was kind of like, oh my God, like I can't believe this is happening.
Well,
But
sometimes you got to get lucky too, right? I mean, good thing it
yeah,
wasn't broken.
yeah,
So you said the thing about the linebacker, right? Tell
yeah.
me how everybody talks about just the speed of the game, or, you're obviously a heck of an athlete, multi-sport athlete, which we'll touch on shortly, but you're used to it at West Branch. You played your whole life. Now all of a sudden you walk onto the field at BW. How different was the game compared to what you were used to?
Players are a lot better, a lot bigger, a lot faster. You kind of in high school, a lot of kids were kind of like the guy or one of like the guys on
Yeah,
their team, and you realize that once like you get to at BW or anywhere else, like that's all that are there, or just a bunch of those guys. So you're not it's like my head coach in West Branch kind of put it, like you go from being the guy to a guy, and it can humble you right away. But I mean, I was kind of expecting, like I was ready for that, but it's still like a lot different once you actually see it for yourself.
yeah.
Um,
So,
and
oh, go ahead.
I guess touching back on, I was started out as fifth. I think through fall camp, I made my way up to fourth, which week one we were at Wittenberg. I mean, I was able to travel with the team as the fourth guy. We only took four running backs, so I was the last guy to be able to go.
That's sweet.
Um, we got up pretty early. We kind of rolled with it the rest of the game, and I got in on our last drive. Had four carries for I think 20-ish yards. It was my first college carry. It was my first game, so I was pretty grateful that that was able to happen. And then week two, kind of the same deal. We get up. I get the last two drives, score my first college touchdown. Pretty awesome moment.
Absolutely.
So I'm doing okay. And then we play at Capital week three, and I didn't really know this, like, but it was, I mean, not a blowout, not a close game. I think we were up by two or three scores, but third quarter, one of our assistant coaches who's calls in plays, handles like subs, we were on defense, and he finds me. He's like, "Hey, next drive's yours." And I was like, "All right, well, here we go." And I think my first carry of that drive, I broke off for 30, 40 yards. And, everybody was excited for me, which that's another thing too. The guys here, coaching staff, players, they're all unbelievable guys. This is a great place.
That's so
But
cool.
once, I scored again in that game, was able to, I think, got 100 and some yards, and kind of just slowly, like week four, kind of got in a little earlier. And then
Uh-huh.
by week five was kind of taking over that number two back spot.
Very nice. Do you remember the first play that you got a carry on?
Yeah, we ran inside zone right four times. Those are my first four carries in that first game.
I like that's kind of isn't that a coach move to kind of give you the same one over and over again, just to make
Yeah,
it easier for ease you into the game?
yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, good for you. We're
Thank
super
you. I appreciate
excited
it.
for you. As a grad of John Carroll, I it's kind of staggering how big of a BW fan I've turned into because of you. But
Thank
I
you. I
think
appreciate it.
yeah, we're not going to games yet, but we'll get there. No, we can't wait to come see you play, man. When we had lunch with you and your parents, you could tell that they did a heck of a job raising you. So I'm not shocked at all that you were able to climb the ranks so fast. Are
Thank
you
you.
still number two coming into this year? Do we know
Yeah,
where we're
that's
going
the
to be?
plan. Yeah, George Limburger, who will be a senior this year, is in front of me. Great, awesome back, over 1,000 yards last year. Him and I kind of shared the backfield last year. We're looking to do that again this year. It's kind of I don't know, like kids on our team like to say the two-headed monster in the backfield. So
Absolutely.
we should be pretty good together.
That's exciting, man. Well, good for you. So as a parent, it can't always be about the athletics for me. I have to pay attention to the academia side of things. You said pretty good and then dropped the 4.0 number for the first semester. How have you found the classes to be compared to what you were used to at West Branch?
I would say mainly just the difference between college and high school is like you and like in high school you get your work, you do it in class. Rarely do you have to take stuff home. If you do, like most of the time you have time during school, like a study hall or during some period where you don't have a lot of work to get your stuff done.
Yeah.
What here it's like you don't really get any work in class. Like you have to make sure you find time on your own to be able to get those done on time. Another thing we had too is like team study tables, like for our football team. So like any freshman coming in, you had to do 4 hours of study tables each week, where you go in, you scan in, and like you're there for 4 hours a week to make sure you're getting your schoolwork done, which I liked. A lot of people didn't like it, but it actually like kind of forced you to set time aside to do your work.
Yeah.
Um,
Get it out of the way, right? You got to do it at some point. Why not use the mandated time for it?
yeah, I graduated out of 4 hours though. I'm only at 2 hours a semester, so it's a lot nicer.
Okay. Nice, but you still got to get the work done. You said
Yeah.
you went from 12 hours your first semester to 16, so you
Hmm.
will have the ability to graduate early academically, right?
Yeah, yeah. If I stay on pace, but
Okay.
I should be able to graduate after the fall season of my senior year, and then that spring semester I can start my grad school.
Nice. Well, for any of the PGG members, look, I'm already personally vouching for you to go to any company you want. I would hire you in a heartbeat if you go to a
Thanks.
wealth advising field. I know that much. No, man, we've been so impressed by, what you've done. You've been a great ambassador for the PGG without even trying, right? We are so thrilled that you're our first winner. I had one question that me and a couple of the board members were talking about. You won your state championship in baseball, right? So
Yep.
you're a heck of a baseball player. And now
Thank
all of
you.
a sudden you got to go and you're essentially done with baseball. How was it giving up, a sport that A, you were really good at, that you loved? How's that hurdle been?
I'm not gonna lie, it's been tough. Um, baseball is my first love. Uh, and my dad was my coach. He was a good baseball player too. Runs in our family. That's
Yeah.
kind of been my entire life. Like summer ball is all summer, and like that's so it was a big part of my life. Those years were really special, and especially being able to win a state championship too. Like that was awesome. I guess I would say I haven't given up on it yet. Not saying that I'll play it again in the future, but I'm gonna do whatever I can to stay involved in the sport, whether that's here at BW or even when I'm done graduate, like after I graduate. Um,
That would be
it's
awesome.
yeah,
Shout out Mike Farrell. He went to Wycliffe with us. He was a BW baseball player. BW
okay,
is a hell of a baseball program too. So
yes,
I
yeah,
would, all right. If by the next time we interview, if if you're playing both and you're a multi-sport college athlete, there's only so much overachieving we can do. Right?
I don't know about that. You
After
know,
football, how about that?
yeah, yeah. I know that our athletic director at West Branch, he went to John Carroll too. He played
Okay.
football, and then his senior year, like after football is done, just played a year of baseball. Just to play the sport again. So that might be a route that I'm interested in. But if
That
not
would be
that,
awesome.
while I'm here, like the head baseball coach and I here have a good relationship too. So I'm sure if ever I want to stick like hang around sometime, shag BP or sit in the dugout, he probably wouldn't mind. Um,
That's sweet. I
just I
did.
love enjoy being around the game.
I was going to say the football locker room, the baseball dugout, there's something so cool about the camaraderie of it, and
Hmm.
I think and you're obviously doing a great job forging all these relationships you're making. So
Hmm.
I would maybe what you could do? My kid and I were watching tons of Savannah Banana Ball. That could be fun. I wish that I was younger. I would try to go play for the Savannah Bananas. That would be super
Yeah,
fun.
those guys are cool.
So the whole point of us, doing this is just trying to make sure people realize that this scholarship's available, right?
Hmm.
You were able to take this scholarship last year, put it to use. You sent us that email. We appreciate that. Just, the money that we were able to give you, you put it to good use. We have some kids out there now who are, thinking about A, applying, and then, B, taking this next step for college ball. What type of advice could you give a high schooler who's, hopefully going to play in college, not only on the football field, but just like the adjustment in life. If you could talk to yourself a year ago, what type of advice would you give yourself?
I guess the first thing I would say is that my defensive coordinator here, who was the main person who recruited me to come to BW, he found out about this scholarship and sent it my way. And, I was very surprised to hear that not a lot of kids applied for it. And I don't know whether that's just because they chose not to or didn't get out fast enough. But
Yeah,
like, I was very surprised by that. And I would hope that, so hope part of something I can do is help make this most available as possible for everybody else. Because I mean, obviously, like it helped me a lot, especially as a Division III athlete with no academic or with only academic money, no athletic scholarships. Like that helped me a lot, and I greatly appreciate it being
absolutely.
selected. But I would say, some on the academic side of things first. My high school, like we talked about earlier, offered CCP classes. I didn't really take a lot of those until my senior year, and like I said, those helped me for like get even earlier start on college. If you can, I would say one, take those if they're offered. Even your junior year, just try to get a head start um, on college. Secondly, I guess I would say start filling out for scholarship as soon as you can because I mean, to be completely honest with you guys and with myself, I was planning on playing Division II football somewhere or Division I. I was planning on getting an athletic scholarship, which I got. I got a few, but those schools weren't fulfilling academically enough for me. I wanted to be somewhere where with better academics. So that was important to me, and I kind of first was like, I don't really need some of these scholarships. I
Yeah.
want to be able to get some athletic money, but you definitely will need them regardless. So I would say start filling those out as soon as you can. Athletically, it's like we said earlier, it's a different game. It's a lot faster. It's a lot bigger. Like once you're here for a year, you go back and watch high school games. You're like, oh my god, like this is. You can just tell that how different it was.
Yeah.
Just amount of like speed of the game, how fast people are, how many kids are on the sideline. Like it's a big difference.
What about like playbook wise and stuff? Is that more intricate than it
For
was?
sure, for sure. I guess at the running back position, in high school and here, it's not the hardest position to learn on offense, but it's definitely there's a lot more things that go into it versus high school. Um, there's a lot more, I guess. Like in high school, it's kind of like formation play, and now it's shift, formation, motion, have checks. Like you need to know everything that's going on. And that's half the battle is learning the playbook. Like I guess that was something that helped me get on the field earlier too. Is I knew what I was doing. Very rarely did I mess up a play like
Yeah.
with a mental mistake. And that's big too, because that helps you build trust with your coaches. They know that you know what you're doing. It's a lot easier to put you in if you don't. Um, Another thing I would say is when you're making your college decision, this is something I wish I would have told myself a year ago is visit everywhere you can. There's a lot of places that reached out to me that right away I was like, I don't really know if I want to go there, but you never know. Like you take that visit and you're like, oh wow, I actually really like it here. And
Yeah.
honestly, BW was one of those schools where when they first reached out, I was like, yeah, I don't really know how I feel about this place. And they did a really good job recruiting me. I felt like this was the place that wanted me the most, that treated me most like family. And after coming on visits and talking back and forth with these coaches, this was definitely the right place. And I can confirm that now after being here for quite some time. But
Absolutely. And your parents are on
just,
board, right? I
oh
mean, that
yeah.
was a big part of it. Well, I remember when we talked to them, they were just as excited as you. Uh,
Hmm.
Big part of it being the academics. I mean, that BW is a heck of a school, man.
Hmm. Yeah, they do a great job up here.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, dude, we can't, A, thank you enough for, making us look good by representing us as the first scholarship winner. But we're thrilled to see what happens next year and then the years going forward. Who is going to be your biggest, who are you playing week one? Do you know?
Week one, we have Bethany here at home.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna have to make it a point to get out there. Thanks for everything, man. Thanks for doing this. We're gonna have to get you. When do doubles start? Or is that a thing? When do doubles start? Can we get you at our golf outing here in the near future? You guys were
All
on vacation last year, so you couldn't do it. But I'm gonna have to call the
right.
dad and make him come. What are you
Yeah.
doing the last week of June?
I mean, if you want it, that works for me.
All right.
I haven't golfed in a while, to be honest. I golfed like a little bit when I was younger. My dad golfs a lot. My family and all his friends do too. After we won the state championship in baseball, I got my first pair of clubs and we golfed a little bit that summer. So that was about 2 years ago, and I didn't golf at all last summer, so might be a little rusty.
All right, well, I'm officially
But
putting your dad on notice. He's gonna have to make it to the PGG outing.
all right,
Um, well, thank you for doing this, man. We were so excited to see what you do next year. And then everybody go check out Baldwin Wallace this year. Anything else before we go? Anything I missed?
no, I mean, thank you guys again. I mean, I was this. You guys were probably one of the scholarships that helped me the most, if I'm being completely honest. It was a really good one to get, and you guys are both great guys. And I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Well, we appreciate you. And then we will talk soon.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, see ya.
See ya.